to another prompt cluster. I've already got a prompt ready right here. And this is where the prompt is going. It's over on this side of the continent with all this stuff. So here it is. Also, by the way, I just updated my skin here. So if you're wondering why my hands looks different, that is why. What I've done for the prompt is this is supposed to be like this ancient temple cathedral looking thing. I did some weird architecture with this, using a lot of green blocks and bedrock, of course, which is how you know it's ancient, because the art of building with bedrock would have been forgotten in the modern era of this world. So that's how you know it's ancient. And up here on the building, I kind of tried to give it if you've ever seen pictures of bismuth, I was trying to give it a crystalline look. I don't know if I pulled that off very well, but I still think it looks kind of interesting. Like the roof having areas that go up and go down really severe way. Yeah. There's a pinnacle up here, which has got a beacon, which connects to something inside the temple. And at night it glows. And down here is this little terrace thing. It's supposed to look like there's a bit of a slab of bedrock and tiles and stuff, but a lot of dirt and stuff is piled up on top of it before, so this is the only part that's really uncovered right now. Over here, just a random pool of weird looking liquid. Also glows at night. Uh, there's a portal here, but it's deactivated because it's one of the ancient bedrock portals and it hasn't been functioning for a really long time. Perhaps this would have led somewhere with more buildings like this. Up here, there's a little staircase. Jump up, go to doors. Kind of don't really match, but we don't have green doors until the next update, so that'll have to do. And this area, this is basically what the whole temple looks like. There's this thing in the middle, which is supposed to have all sorts of weird shapes flying around it. And I actually got one of the dev paintings, this one, in the prompt, so I figured I might as well give that a prominent place, because it's kind of cool. And of course, beacons can go through bedrock and stuff, because they're supposed to be able to go through the nether roof. So I utilized that to make it go through the pillar here, and up to there into the pinnacle. And basically all along the walls here, we've got these little platforms for jumping on, because down here we have temple keepers, which are frogs. They have got really weird names that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. They're a fun little addition, I think. These are actually the cold variant frogs, which I know doesn't make sense because they're green. But I had to actually learn how to do a specific command to summon in the cold variant frogs, because I didn't want to have to go to a cold biome, spawn them in with spawn egg, and then cart them over here. So that was cool. All the way up here, this was originally a funky looking glass dome kind of ceiling. Not really a dome, just a glass ceiling in some weird shapes, but I found I didn't really like how it looked, so I built over it. So now in here, we've just got a bunch of crystal or something that's formed on the roof, and I put these things, light blocks, over the yellow ones to make it look like it's glowing. There's a lot of these things as well, spore blossoms, so you can see all the green particles around here. And down this way, there's a little cubby here. It's the other temple keeper. And this is where the temple keepers live. They sleep in here. They have bags and things, cabinets, and this is supposed to be ceremonial frog armor. So, because they would only need a helmet because they're that small, I think. So. This guy's kind of demonstrating for us right here. Look. It kind of fits. Alright, I've got the second prompt ready. It's this thing, and this is right where it is going. Okay, so this one isn't very expansive or detailed as ones I normally do, but it was kind of a filler space kind of prompt. So there's this big little bit of mountain I needed to cover with something. So I basically just added a bunch of green and white to top here. Bit of a little nice gradient. Here's a tree. There was a tree originally here that had bee nest on it, so I thought I would leave that there. Sorry. I made it out of like the jigsaw blocks, and I put some glass and stuff on top. I think that's got an interesting look to it. Down here is just a little house, bit of a chimney with smoke coming out of it. It's kind of carved into the hill here. It's lights, basic random things you would find in a house. This is supposed to be like slippers or something. Yeah, the slippers are essential, of course. Over here, this is just like little shrine, Stonehenge-y kind of thing. It's just supposed to be very blue and white, and whatever it was used for before, nobody knows because it's just so ancient. And I guess the fabric is made out of something indestructible, or just because it's Minecraft, so it would never broken down or something. I don't know. Oh, there's also this thing. This is just a big, like, jukebox thing. It's got a skulk sensor and, like, wool in it, so when you run across it here, it starts playing some music. There's also this little book sliver here, like the one over here, kind of, except I use dark oak instead of oak. It still kind of complements it a bit, I think. And it's just a little tissue book. So now we're on to the final prompt. I originally had one right here I was going to do, but I think I'm actually going to save that for another episode, because it's got a wither in it, and that's going to be an ordeal to try and figure out how to incorporate a live wither into a build without it destroying everything. So I'm not going to do that for this one. Instead, I'm going to cheat a little bit on the prompt, because I'm going to put seeds in here first. I have an area here I was going to turn into a farm, but I haven't rolled seeds from the prompt machine, like at all. So I think I'm going to cheat a little, and I think mess with fate, just add seeds to this one, so I can finally get this thing done. And here we have the finished prompt, and of course, we're going to be building the farm in this little bit of land. Here we are. I have made the farm. It's a lot of wheat. Pretty much, that's gonna be like the main agricultural export of this like continent here. I talked about that in one of my other videos. I'm making a bunch of separate continents that'll be like different civilizations and stuff. But this one is supposed to be like mainly populated by villagers. So their main thing is like they export wheat. So there's gonna be tons of wheat farms everywhere. And over here, a couple of buildings made of gold and stuff to match the dike. I guess gold probably is a bit more prevalent in this world because it's next to useless. So I guess you might as well use it as a building material. Over here, just like a little house. Chests. There's this thing, which is actually a glitched out map, which I don't know any other way of getting this other than you put it into the saved hotbars, and once you like transfer over to another world with it and pull it out of your saved hotbars, it'll just be glitched out and not have anything on it. And when you put it in an item frame, it makes the item frame big, but it still keeps the filled map texture. So it's just an interesting little thing I found. There's a flower in the pot. There's a tipped arrow. That's supposed to have like blood on it or something, because this farmer's a little suspicious. That's like a random music disc, using stuff from the prompt. Over here, this is the danger hole. I thought it would be funny to have a random hole here, because this is a very suspicious farmer. There's like spikes and fake blood everywhere, and keep my issues. There's this thing, which is actually not just a white void, it's a bunch of maps on top of fence gates, copying the green trick, which is probably fairly well known, but I will credit him anyway. It's just a bunch of white concrete stuff, and another little thing full of maps and fence gates, and it just drops you out into the void. So that's why I put all these bunch of signs up here. Takes me a minute to get there, apparently. Yep. It's like, danger, danger, you'll die. We'll drop you into the void. yeah. Over here, windmill. Doesn't really look like it functions, but this is Minecraft, so we can ignore physics. There's a big bridge here leading over to this lighthouse thing, which I've filled with like hay bales and stuff, and I actually found a way to sorta make the little path down here match. I just turned it into slabs instead of leaf pads. Uh, Over here, like the bridges change halfway through to kind of fit the style of it, I guess. I don't really have any unified style. It's just chaos and color. That's pretty much it. This goes into this little room, or this is just supposed to be a bunch of like machinery for it's supposed to like operate the windmill. This is like a bunch of trapdoors. The farmer comes up and opens whenever he runs the windmill, so it can go through the bridge without smacking into it or something. I guess instead of being automated, it would just be like a manual thing because it's like kind of a casual farmer thing. It's kind of a thing up there. There's just trapdoors over broad wood blocks and random sand. So it kind of goes here. Just a random ladder well, like stairwell with the ladder. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but it is now. Here, there's more hay piled up there, and here's the farmer. It's Farmer Mulch, who is a cow. Despite I said this was a villager continent, I'm gonna say this is like the one where everybody immigrates to because it's like best established or something, or has best immigration laws maybe. But down here, this is supposed to look like a millstone kind of thing. It's got bits of wheat on it as it's being milled, I guess. I don't really know how millstones work. But this is more machinery. It's supposed to look like it turns, and there's this thing you can like pull on to push this down into the little hollow where we grind up the wheat and stuff, and that's supposed to turn on in this make-believe machinery and stuff. That's pretty much it. I just put some like rose bushes around the place as well to try and like separate it from different layers of things around it. I didn't really do too much either. There's like gold under the water. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually ended up being not as like detailed and intricate as I thought it might be. That's the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.